Hey you there, are you looking to rank up in chess? Well, right now we're going to travel back in time. This is in 2021 November when I played this game as a 1300 Elo player, and we are going to analyze that game and review what could have been different. So let's dive right into the game then, right? You sure? Are you sure you want are you sure you want to rank up in chess that quickly, huh? Well, you're at the right place. Let's start with e4. This was a Caro-Kann. I do recommend Caro-Kann as most people go into the exchange variation and you will get a very nice position very quickly as you have developed as much as they have and you will have a nicer position then. So I played d5, which is the Caro-Kann way. They don't have to take. They played knight c3 and just here I just take, knight takes, and I attack the bishop. Now here, after my many games of experience, I have been met with this move, and after this, h4, trying to trap my bishop, I play h6, and the game goes on with like this, something like this, but he plays f3, you know, 1300 still weaken their king like this, exposing their king to checks. So here is the first concept. Here is the first concept. When your opponent at any point of the game plays f3 and you can have a check this way here against the king, then you must bring out the e-pawn immediately and prepare for an attack. So I play e6 here. I play e6 here, and now they have to defend against the threat of takes and check. It's not check right away because then he will play g3 or knight g3. So you have to reverse the move order. Right now, the best move here might be like knight e2 to defend against this square, or I mean bishop f4 to guard against this square. Yeah, he plays bishop c4, and now that just allows this. This is all you need. All you have to look out for. f3, I go attack that square on h4 and go for the king. Because the king has to move. g3, he loses the rook, a classic fork. He has to move the king and he cannot castle. You also win this pawn and you are literally doing very well. This is your dream position. But instead of that, I don't do that. I instead play knight f6. And that's not good because now they can take with check and play knight e2. But okay, they play knight e2 first, but that just hangs a pawn. They I mean, these 1300s are still not paying attention to the center. So first I play b5 because I don't see it. And now I take. Now that is very nice. We have won a pawn because we played e6 and opened up the way for the knight and the bishop. We took it. They develop pieces. They should castle here to defend the pawn, but they do go there. Just now a visualization practice. Look at all your pieces, where they can go. Do this at every move and you will get to 1400 easily. So bishop takes g2. Now the rook is pointing there. Of a new attacker in white's position. Now just come back, perhaps d5. But I go there to win the knight. But perhaps I did not, during that time, look at the another concept, which is how is my opponent going to develop? You see, they have developed these pieces, and they have not yet developed. They have not developed the queen and the rook, and the king still wants to castle. So you would predict that your opponent's next best move is to move the queen and then castle. So queen e3 here will put pressure on the bishop yet once again, which is why it might not be a good move. But it is good for black because of this only check. This check on h4, and I find it. It's a check. I will assume I calculated after bishop blocks because that's the tempo winning move. That's the tempo winning move. You calculate that. I play queen e4 and I trade off queens. That's excellent stuff. That's the only way to remain with an advantage. Yeah, we're up 2 pawns now. He castles. Now here is the way to convert this. You bring your pieces, you castle. I mean, they have castled already. You already have to go for castles. I play a5. It's actually a fine move as well because you're threatening to trap the bishop. They have to react to it. They cannot simply go and attack you just yet. So they play a4. Nice. They saw it. And you don't want to take because they would get some pressure here. But that's what I did. I did not take and I kept attention. I kept attention. I played knight d7, ready to play bishop out. But the engine here, I mean, it's not about the engine. It's actually what your opponent can do, because my opponent found the engine line, which is take, not takes first, but he plays knight c3. Knight c3 is a very nice move because it attacks the bishop and it attacks the pawn at the same time. So you have to look out for your opponent's moves with the knights. Like, these are threats. These are all threats, and this is all a part of the concept, which is calculation matters the most when you're intermediate player. So you have to calculate still. Because yeah, I take the pawn first because if takes, then that would be a bad structure for my opponent. So they take with the bishop, and now I bring the bishop back. Assuming that if knight takes, then I take with the c pawn, and I don't lose anything. I'm still up 2 pawns. And I have removed my opponent's strongest attacker, which was the knight. Now I develop the bishop out. I could have given a check, but my concept here was that most don't give a check when it doesn't win something, because after this check, yes, the king could get active. I thought that I don't want that. I don't want the king to get active. So I brought the bishop back here, not allowing c3. So they went king b2, going to play c3, which is why maybe bishop b4 was not altogether a good move. But okay, I play rook a7. I mean, I'm just developing pieces. I'm keeping the I'm trying to castle, so I'm trying to defend this knight. That's a very nice move in my opinion. Yeah, very forward looking, and we castle, and this is the position. So you're up 2 pawns. So I'll assume. I mean, I say that don't push pawns in front of your king, but first make some space and then start pushing so that this rook guards this file here. That's that's something that came up to me right now. And that's how I did. That's what I did. I knew that my opponent is going to attack on this side. So I prepared it with h6 and king h7. Something to really look forward to. That you get your king some air to breathe and then you activate the rook. Because now, even if he comes here to double up on this file, I can defend it with rook g8, which I could not 2 moves ago. So I play g5. It's okay move. It gets rid of this pawn, and it gets 2 passed pawns here, which is a very nice view. And if rook h1, there is h5. You have to always calculate your opponent's threats. Like, this is a very dangerous gameplay here. Rook f3 is not a good move because 2 pieces on the same file, rook is pinning the rook, so you attack the bishop. But I was worried about here about rook g3 and perhaps some sacrifice here, because that is almost checkmate. That is actually almost winning for white. So yeah, so I have to, I mean, it hangs the bishop. So yeah, but this happens, he defends the bishop with the rook, pinning himself, and I drop back. and he loses the bishop. We're up a piece here. We're up a piece and one pawn. That is enough to convert the game, right? I give checks here because I imagine that this rook now and this bishop are in a better place. And they truly are. I'm ready to give checks and convert. There was bishop e8, which wins a rook. That was kind of bad. So he didn't find it. Played king f6, c5. Okay, we have this position. What do you think is white's only way to win? What do you think? Well, you could say that maybe I will hang a piece here, but let's be honest, 1300s don't hang pieces anymore. They can already almost indicate every move that white has. There are only two pieces. They will not hang this. 4 minutes is enough time. So actually, white's only idea to win is make this pawns passing. Move this pawn, support it with the rook, and create annoying threats. So that's why you have to play rook c7, knight there. I mean, actually, you can play e5 here as well, e5 here, because if he takes, yes, you lose this pawn, but at least you have more access to this pawn. They are not passing anymore. Okay, you will lose. I mean, it's tough to say this position, man. This position is very difficult. Like, it's winning for black, but I mean, endgames are very tricky. So you have to find a way to eliminate these pawns. You just have to. So I mean, rook a7 is fine. It's trying to push this pawn, but look at this. He gives a check and he walks forward with his king, and the king has the way to push this pawn. I go here trying to blockade something. I bring the bishop back. He goes there. I mean, there's ultimately no chance to win this for white, right? I push this pawn, and now I go bishop d2, and threatening checkmate in one. He finds it and stops it, and I just come back trying to control the square. He plays rook d3. Now you have to bring your knight into the game. Your knight, look at this knight. This knight cannot move anywhere because of the bishop. So you have to play e5 here. e5, he goes d5. That's that's it. King d6 blockades the pawn, and you mm, just push this pawn up the board then. Yeah, and you blockade this, and I mean, game goes on. I do play e5 because I want to get the knight active, but it doesn't. So I just blockade the pawn. That's the best move. You don't want these to get on the 7th rank. So he plays rook c3, trying to play c7. So here you have to push this pawn, or I mean just wait. Just wait. I mean, yes. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to play this. But you had to push this cheap pawn. That's the only winning move. And 1300s are so tough. Now here d6 allows a check. He placed this bishop back first, which is a big blunder. Because now there is e4, there is an attack, and a way out for the bishop to check. That's it. And the rook will be lost like this. Checkmate. But instead, I play knight out as soon as the bishop went out, and I missed a check. And both pawns are protected, and white is winning. That's so sad. That's so sad. Pawns are marching through, and when I played king d8, king d8, he gives a check, a correct one. He gives a check, king d7, and now another correct check, attracting the king away from this pawn. And it promotes with check, and that's literally it. He has queens, he has material, He wins all of my pieces. You no no you cannot win in this position. Even when they have 40 seconds, you will not win this or get a stalemate. But you can try. So the game ended like this. Yikes. So this game was a clean middle game for black for me. Very nice, just very nice getting rid of this pawn in the center, gaining two pawns, and even when white had much more development, I found this only move with check and trading off queens, and no more danger for black. No more danger for black. You have to go for this stuff. There is no f pawn, so you go in with a check, and that's it. Trade off queens, go for some tempo. Still have two pawns, defend everything nicely, and you even win with a tactic, or you win a piece. And here, I guess you had to develop the knight first. I would still say that giving checks was not a great option because you allowed the king to get further in. You should have developed the knight instantly. Yeah, you brought the bishop back from defending this pawn, and then you got into trouble nearly many moves later. And your knight was very passive. You should have activated it the first time you had the chance to, but you did not get it. Did not get that chance because you little mindlessly shuffled here. But you did have one passed pawn and tried to go for checkmate. They disallowed it. They played it pretty nicely, like getting two passed pawns here as well. So yeah, you had to play g-pawn up the board because then the rook had to stop controlling this c-file and go here and here. That's all the calculation is to it. Not much concepts in middle games. It's just brutal calculation. Like you have to calculate attacks, every pawn move. Yeah, you have to calculate their checks. So you have to stop their check and go for your own check. Very difficult play. End games can become very tricky as he sacrifices a bishop and gets a queen. And that's all the game there is to it. Just calculation, practicing visualization, all together at the intermediate level, and just having fun with their pieces. Just having fun. They just will not stalemate. And I lost here. So do your visualization exercises, train it, look at all your legal moves, your opponent legal moves, and we'll get better. If you like this video, I thank you, you're a legend, and we will see you in the next one.